Today we are transforming Dollar Tree candy dishes into stunning DIY home decor. Easy, affordable, and perfect for any space. Don't miss these genius decorating hacks.
Hi, I'm Loli, and I'm so glad you are here.
For this project, I'll be using one of these candy dishes from Dollar Tree. I removed the tag. When I did so, there was a portion left behind, but I just sanded it off with my sanding block. And I also sanded down the entire candy dish. Then I took this Rust-Oleum white spray paint and I'm going to paint the bottom section of the candy dish. If you do this, go ahead and also paint the inside of it. Here I had some bleed, so I am taking my sanding block and just sanding down those little raised edges that the paint bleed left behind. Then I cleaned everything nicely, and now I'm going to take some of these jumbo, or actually the largest size tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. Look at the difference between the regular ones we usually get and these new ones. I love them, and they were the perfect size to cover the sides of these dish. Then I took 18 of them, and I'm going to take some of this Waverly Antique wax. I'm going to take some on the cover of it and add some water to it, blend it with my brush, and stain the front section and the sides of my tumbling tower blocks. I will be leaving the bottom section of the blocks and painted, or stained, I should say. Once all of the blocks were completely covered, I'm going to go ahead and move them over and stain the two sides that were not stained on the corner ones and the three sides that were unstained on all of the other tumbling tower blocks. As I said earlier, I will be leaving the belly portion or the bottom portion of the tumbling tower block unstained because we will be needing that for the next step. Once they were all covered, I'm going to take a cleaning wipe from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to wipe off the top section of the tumbling tower blocks so I'm able to expose the beautiful grain on these wood pieces. And I took my heat gun and dried up all of them. I'm leaving spaces in between each one of the tumbling tower blocks to make sure that all of the edges are also dry. Then I'm going to take a combination of my Tide Bond Quick and Thick and some hot glue, and we are going to glue all of these tumbling tower blocks on the sides of the candle dish. Leaving, you will see about a little space in between. Here you'll see as you put in the tumbling tower blocks onto the piece, the spaces will be different. Here I'm trying as best as I can to keep everything nice and straight, but that hot glue pretty much instantly attaches to that plastic. And I just continued to do this until it was completely covered. Once I got to the last tumbling tower block, you see how much space I got there? Perfect amount. I do have a little bit of spaces in between once I add this one to the middle, but that is quite all right because we have another plan for this. I will be using some of this reindeer moss from Dollar Tree to cover up all of those creases. And what I did is add some hot glue onto the tumbling tower blocks, separate the Spanish moss, actually the reindeer moss, into little strips and add them onto the middle of the two tumbling tower blocks. And I repeated that process until I went all the way around the entire planter and into each one of these grooves. This was a bit messy. You can leave it messy if you like. I wanted to manicure it a little bit. So I took my small scissors from Dollar Tree and I just trimming off the reindeer moss. And this is how it's looking so far. But I wanted to also make sure that those creases in the top were also covered. So I'm adding hot glue to those creases also and adding the little pieces of the reindeer moss that I had left over into those creases until I went all the way around this one as well. And here it is. But here, remember how I told you in the beginning that you better also paint the inside of the pail? This is when I realized, oh no, you can see all of that wood glued on to the front. So when you do the first portion, when you spray paint your dish, make sure that you spray paint the inside as well so you can avoid yourself this step. Now that the inside is dry, we are going to decorate it. I am using a variety of different picks, but first we are going to glue some of the floral moss to the center of the planter, and then I'll be using all of these different picks from the Dollar Tree. To set this up, I'm going to cut each one of the little pieces onto individual little stems, and I'm going to put them in 5 specific places of the floral foam. I'm trying to do it kind of like when you do dominoes and your 5s or dice you can do, and your 5s are in different spaces like this. This is how I added them on, but I'm making sure to leave some space for these beautiful little houses that we got from Dollar Tree, and we'll be using both of them. I'm going to start with this smaller one and position it right there in the middle. I want it to sit nicely onto the floral foam there, so I needed to move my leaves a little bit to be able to fit it. So once it's nicely placed on there, now I know exactly where to put the rest of my stems. So I just continue to build my arrangement. Here I'm using some ferns. I got these ferns from Dollar Tree as well some time back. I haven't seen them in a while, but if you find them, grab them. Usually these have like 2 or 3 pieces of the fern in each one of the little sticks there. So I removed some of them and I'm bringing the last one to the very top, adding a little bit of hot glue onto the place there where the stem and the leaf meet. You see right there what I mean? And then I'm positioning onto my stem. This is just so the fern will not slip off later on. And I'm going to add them in different sections of my pick, as you see there, just trying to fill in and make this nice and even and balanced. Then I'm using this other pick that I also got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to also cut them into individual pieces, and I'm trying to, again, keep everything nice and balanced. I'm no florist, so I'm just working with this until I am happy with what it's looking like. My vision here was kind of like a rainforest kind of look to it. When I think of fairy gardens, this is what I think of, luscious, vibrant greens and beautiful, well-nourished plants. Here I'm adding on another one of these greenery pieces from Dollar Tree. I'm going to add them to the back of the sides just to make this a bit fuller, and also to bring about that, beautiful, different plants that are usually in the rainforest, right? You have a lot of different species, right? So that's what we're doing here. And I'm filling in the front as well with some more of those flowers that I use on this sides there, just to cover up that floral foam, because we want to cover that up and make it look nice and seamless. So I'm doing that there. Later on, I will come in with a little bit of moss and cover the floral foam with. But for now, we are going to work with the back section. We are going to do this two-sided. So for this one, I'm using the mushroom house. I placed it as I placed the other one, and here we're going to build this side over here. So this, if you make this, you can put it in your coffee table, and no matter what side your guests are looking at it, they will get a beautiful little scenery, and this is just gorgeous. But anyway, this is kind of subjective to me, right? You let me know in the comment section what you think of this one when I'm done, but I'm not done yet. So I'm going to add some more of that other greenery that I got there. Looks like kind of house plants. Then I'm bringing in some of that white to the top section here, also to bring in some variety of different colors. I cut those into 2 individual picks, put them towards the roof of my little mushroom house. Added some more of that other greenery here because I didn't like how you can see the back of the other leaf from the other side here. So I'm just butting one against the other. So from both sides, they will look beautiful. And then here I am adding some of that fern to the front of this piece as well. And just like that, bing, bam, boom, this piece is done. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? Please let me know which side is your favorite. Do you like this one? Or do you like this one with the mushroom? I think this one is my favorite. Let me know in the comment section below. For this one, we'll be using one of these candy dishes from Dollar Tree, removing all of the tags off of them. And then we're going to use some sanding block, and we are sanding off the sides of this. First, we're starting with the sides. We want to make sure that we keep our strokes long ways so it will look all like if it was always meant to be. Here we are going for a scene that looks like frosted glass. So I'm making sure to keep this oh Lord, my father, to keep my strokes long and in the same direction so it would look like it was meant to be. You see how frosted and beautiful that looks? Then I'm going to go ahead and also sand the bottom section and also the pedestal section. And I'm doing this because we'll be painting this section, but I want to score it in order to have that paint stick very well to the plastic and it will not chip. And don't forget those little grooves right here. Use the edges of your sanding block and get in there. And also make sure that that is nicely scuffed up so you're able to get the best coverage. Be sure to also scuff up the pedestal because we will be spray painting that as well. And just use the corner of your sanding block to get into all of the nooks and crannies. To get to the middle here, just wedge your sanding block in there, push it down, hold your pedestal piece firmly, and scuff up that middle section as well. Then take a wipe and remove all of the dust off of the entire piece and set it aside to dry. Then take some painter's tape and some paper towels or napkins or any paper you have and just wrap it in the top section as you see there. Then take your painter's tape and line it up with the edge of the bottom section of your candy dish. And then just keep adding the tape onto that corner, making sure to keep it as straight as possible so you end up with a nice clean line. Then once you have completely covered that portion of your paper towel, go ahead and add another piece to it. Place it on top of the other one. And you're going to position it the same way you did the other one. It doesn't matter how far down it goes, as long as your painter's tape will cover it and also have enough to go all the way down to the edge of your candy dish. And then go all the way around until you completely cover that section. Once everything is nicely done, we're going to take that off. Take some of this spray paint from Rust-Oleum, take it outside, spray paint it, and then look how beautiful that is. We're going to remove that tape to reveal the beautiful clean edge that we ended up with. This is my favorite part when I tape off and paint. Now we're going to put this together. I'm going to use some of these stones that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the entire packet on here. Then I'm going to bring in one of these succulents. Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the bottom section from it and then put it at the center and wedge it in between my stones. Then I took 3 of these little tea light candles from Dollar Tree. And we're going to put them in 3 different sections around the plant. And just like that, this is done. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this one. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know how far my videos are reaching. Thank you so much.
We will be using one of these plunger sticks from Dollar Tree. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut it. I did that using my miter saw. And then I'm going to go ahead and sand down the edges. I did that off camera. Then I took one of these wood bases from Dollar Tree and I'm going to sand off all the rough edges. I'm going to remove all the dust, and then we are going to take a combination of wood glue and wood hot glue to attach the plunger stick to the middle of the base. I make sure to hold it down tightly until the wood hot glue sets. Now I'm just removing the excess that sits on the edges. Then I'm going to take some of this white chalk paint and paint that with it. While that dries, I'm going to take one of these little planters from Dollar Tree and I'm going to paint it also using the same white chalk paint. I ended up giving it a total of 3 coats. Then I'm going to use this candy holder from Dollar Tree and I'm going to paint the lid white and the lip at the bottom of the dish. Now it's time to assemble everything together. So first I'm going to take that stick and put it in the bottom of that planter and trace it. Then I'm using my heat tool. I'm going to go ahead and cut that circle completely out of the bottom. Then I'm going to slide the planter down the plunger pole and adhere it to the bottom using some wood hot glue. I make sure to press it down firmly until it dried. Now it's time to go ahead and add the candy dish to the top of this. So I'm going to just go ahead and add some hot wood glue, I should say, in the bottom of the dish. And I'm going to press it down onto the plunger stick, hold it in place until that sets as well. And this is what our project is looking like so far. Now it's time to add some floral foam into the planter. I just cut it into small pieces and place them next to each other, making sure that it was tightly securing the stick as well in place. Now I'm using some of these florals that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut them into individual pieces and place them around the pole. Once all the floral is in place, I'm going to take some of the Spanish moss and I'm going to cover any areas that have any of the floral foam still showing. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to take one of the steel light candles from Dollar Tree and we're going to add it inside of that candy holder. Place the cover right back up there, and now we are done with this beautiful piece. Let me know what you think about it.
For this one, we will be using one of these candy dishes from the Dollar Tree. So I gave it a quick coat of this brilliant gold paint from Kryolan. But it was quite transparent. So I went with plan B. I took my folk art black chalk paint and gave it a coat instead. Then using the same paint, I painted the bottom lip of the candy jar. Then I took Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus off this nativity set, and I'm trying to cut one of the Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree using my tool, and I'm going to glue those tiny pieces to the back so it works in order to stand up each character. Then I gave them a coat of gold paint. I used a sponge and lots of paint to leave some texture on the surface. While those dried, I took some of the black chalk paint and created a wall in one side of the candle dish, painting it in the inside. I just wanted to give it the appearance of a nighttime scene. Once all the pieces were dry, I just took my Mod Podge and gave every piece a protective coat. Then I took one of these stars and my gold paint, and I'm going to just paint the star. Then I took one of these planks from the Dollar Tree and cut it at 3.5 inches in length. And as I mentioned earlier, this video is part of a collaboration. Please be sure that you stop by these wonderful ladies' channels and show them some love and watch the entire playlist. The link to the playlist and their channels will be in the description box below. Then using my emery board, I sand off all the edges, give it a finished look. Then I gave the front and back a coat of paint using the Rust-Oleum linen white. I let it dry and then came in with some gold, distressing the ends. And using my Cricut, I cut the wording, "Away in a manger, our Savior was born." And I'm going to place it in the front of the wood piece. Then I sealed everything in using some Mod Podge. If you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Then I took one of these metal candle holders from the Dollar Tree and placed it in the middle of the wood plank. I am measuring using tumbling tower blocks to see exactly where we'll be gluing the blocks. Then I place it back down, put my hot glue, and put the tumbling tower blocks on each side of the piece here. And this is how it ended up looking. Then I took some raffia, wrestled with it, and I am cutting it in tiny little pieces that resemble straw for my manger. Then I'm taking my gold paint and I'm going to rub it using a paper towel all along the cover just to give it a metallic look. And I'm doing the same thing on the lip of the candy dish and along the metal candle holder as well. As I wanted the inside to sparkle, I also added some to the inside of the bowl where the black paint was. Then I placed Mary, Joseph of Jesus in there just to make sure everything was looking good. And here you see me doing the same process on the metal candle holder. Once everything dried, I took some E6000 and put it in the bottom of my candy dish, and I applied a little bit of hot glue as well and placed my candle holder onto the bottom of my candle dish. And I'm securing the edges with some more E6000 for maximum security. And now it's time to reassemble my nativity scene. I used some of these fairy lights from the Dollar Tree. I wrapped it around my hand and then placed it down onto the candy dish. I then hot glued the back of the power source to the back of the Jenga blocks, making sure to leave the battery cover in the outside. Then I wrote Mary, Joseph, and Jesus back in, and this is what it's looking so far. I wanted to add a little star, so I took the wooden star and a little piece of Jenga block and I glued it to the background where the black was painted. I wanted to add some greenery and color, so I used some of these pine cones from, not pine cones, pine picks from the Dollar Tree, and I cut pieces and put it on each side of the candle dish. Then I took some of this red ribbon from the Dollar Tree, created a double loop bow and glued it to the middle. And for extra embellishment, I took a pine cone from the Dollar Tree scatter and glued it in the middle, duct tape my ends, and there we are.
My friend, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you enjoyed today's content, here is some more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you again so much for watching. You're amazing. Bye.